Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. This video is part of my Did I Nail It series, where I like to take a look at upcoming nail polish releases and see if I really need to buy something else or if I can dupe some polishes by using ones that I already own. And for today, I'm taking a look at, I believe, 6 polishes that are part of the upcoming release for Hella Handmade Creations, or HHC. If you have no idea what that is, it's a monthly collaboration from indie nail polish makers and other types of cosmetic products where they make limited edition products, mainly nail polish, to be available for, I think it's the 14th to the 22nd of every month. So we've got the January 2026 one coming up. And you know, as I go through and prepare for these videos, I always take a look at what's there. I like to see, okay, which of these are ones that I personally am thinking that I want to buy. And then I also try to consider what are some of the ones that I see that other people are interested in. And I was really surprised for this month because I just wasn't really seeing a whole lot that I personally felt like, oh, I need that. I think maybe it's because I've been doing so many videos lately that talk about things like how to get the best or get the most use out of toppers, how to get the most use out of in different types of toppers like glitter, flaky, shimmer, and so on, that I think maybe that's helped me to kind of slow down a bit with wanting to buy more. But for those of you who might not be there yet, or if you are looking through to see like you're on a low buy, no buy, wherever you are in this, I hope that this video can be helpful for allowing you to see which of these polishes you might already be able to dupe by using ones that you already own. The way that so let's see, 2 things before I get into it. The first thing is that the way that I decided to select the polishes for this month, knowing that there wasn't really anything that I was looking to buy myself, was that I went through and saw which of these polishes had lower caps, meaning that they have a smaller number of polishes that are available for sale. Some of these, I think the lowest one that I saw for this month, at least of the ones that I have chosen for today, was like 100 bottles that are available. And depending on how many people are shopping for this month, those can get sold out relatively quickly. So I wanted it to be the case that if there are any of these that do sell out, you all will have hopefully some alternate options for duping them if you still want to have something like that as a manicure in your collection. The other way that I went about choosing polishes for this month was by looking through the HHC Facebook group and seeing which of those polishes there were getting the most interest, the most activity from people being like, oh, that's cute, I want that. And so that was kind of my method for that. The last thing I'll say before I get into this is that if you are on a low buy, meaning that you are still open to buying polishes but wanting to do so in a more constrained, budgeted way, my advice for this would be to set a budget for yourself. Say if you are letting yourself buy like 5 polishes from this month, where I hope that these types of videos can fit into your shopping and planning plan, as it were, is that if you see something that you can already easily dupe from polishes that you already own, go with the dupe, really. And that way, that frees up a slot in your budget for this month for you to be able to then take a look at some other indie creators that you might not have considered before. I think that is a fantastic way to be able to preserve your budget, prevent yourself from bringing in more polishes that are basically the same as what you already have, but also still show your support to the makers who participate in things like HHC. Okay, so as always, I encourage you to grab a swatch wheel, grab some swatch sticks, follow along by pulling out polishes from your collection, and let's get right into it. All right, so this first one, I'm pretty sure I was drawn to it, not just because of how many people I saw in the Facebook group showing interest in this, but also just the name. It's called, well, it's from All Mixed Up Lacquers, and it's called Granny Likes Smut Too. And the description says that All Mixed Up Lacquers is continuing their Granny Hobby series with a polish inspired by reading. You know what? I support grandmothers. I support literacy. So you know what, Granny? Get that smut. I support that. So then it goes on to say, this polish has a bold, vibrant purple that is hard to say. A bold, vibrant purple base. Reading is fundamental, apparently, with intense pink, red, gold shimmer, and reflective glitters. Now, this is one where I would say that it's part of why I wanted to start with this one is that I hope it can be a good example of how, even if you may not have something in your collection that's going to be a 100% identical dupe, I feel that often the process of trying to dupe out a polish and seeing how close you can get can sometimes be all that you need to say, you know what, this scratches the itch enough, I'm good. So I've gotten a few different options that we're going to start with first. I'm starting with Perky Polish, Hibernating Hedgehog. That is the first one here on the left. This one, I believe I've built up in 3 coats. The next one I thought would be similar-ish, but as you can see, it does have a slightly different like base color. This is from Cracked. It's called Snapback, and this one has more of a, I guess I would say that Hibernating Hedgehog takes on more of a magenta color, whereas Snapback is more on the blue, blurple, indigo side. And then I've got a third option, which I don't know how this one's gonna go, but you know, let's see. This is gonna be the like completely DIY approach, and this is with Lurid Lacquer Indomitable, and this one is just gorgeous, vibrant purple. I'm actually going to start here with Indomitable because there's going to be an additional thing I need to do here to give this one a little bit more shimmer, because Hibernating Hedgehog and Snapback both already have their own kind of shimmer going on, whereas I mean, I think there may be some, like, you know, when you look at Indomitable, it does change color a bit, but it doesn't have anywhere near as much shimmer shiftiness as these two do. So looking at both the picture and the description, well, it says intense pink, red, gold shimmer, and I do see that in the picture. I think what I want to do is use Fancy Glosses, Let It Glow, Purple Pink. I think yeah, and let me just think out loud for a second, because I'm looking at this and I do see like a pink glow. I know there's also a red glow, but I feel like if I put a red shimmer on top of this, red might shift it too far away, whereas I still want purple, like this underlying purple color, to be present. So okay, I almost talked myself out of this, but I just talked myself back into it. So let me start by putting on a coat of this for some additional shimmer. Okay, yeah, so what this is doing is giving just a little bit more shimmer here. I mean, I probably could have gone with the red. No, I know how my red shimmer choppers go, and y'all, those red shimmer choppers do not play. Like, it is just red. So I'm good with this right now. It's gonna give me some of that shiftiness that was missing. Okay, so the other thing I noticed when I was looking at this one and preparing for this video, I had to read through the description a couple times because I was seeing flakes in the reference photos, but I didn't see flakes mentioned anywhere in the description. And so I know that there's flakes there. I've seen swatch videos of this polish, so I know that there are flakes, but yeah, just a little surprising that they aren't mentioned in the description. Because of that, I can't say for sure exactly what color those flakes are, but they kind of look red to me, so that's what I'm going with. The red flake topper that I have is from Spectrum Cosmetics. It's called Slay. And I'm going to put this on top of all these. That's why I needed to start with Indomitable first, because I wanted to give the shimmer topper a little bit of time to dry before I went back in with Slay. So let's see what this does over the others. Okay. Yeah, I think red is a good choice for the flake topper for this because it's got a purple base for the granny like smut too. And yeah, I think red seems to be a good fit there because it like complements what we've got there without taking away from the underlying color. So far, I would say the Perky Polish, it seems to be the front runner here. But, you know, we'll see what can happen. And let me put it over our third option. Okay, yeah, the Indomitable one is the second so far as I think matching that color that's in the polish. Okay, so while that is drying, the last piece it says is reflective glitters. And once again with this, I don't know what color those reflective glitters are. And I went back and forth and thought, do I want to use a gold reflective glitter topper or silver? And I know that there's gold shimmer, but I think that I'm gonna go with silver just because I know that sometimes my gold reflective glitter topper can, you know, depending on what I put it over, it can almost completely overtake it. Well, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do instead. Because the snap back one in the middle is, I'm seeing that this just isn't the right color for what I'm going with. I'm gonna have that one be my guinea pig with the silver, and if it turns out that the silver is a no-go, then I'm gonna pull out gold for the others. I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's you know, I think I might actually be better with the gold now that I think about it. Because yeah, the silver is actually standing out more than I thought it would. I think it's because there's a certain warmth that's in the vibe that I'm building up here so far. So you know what? Yeah, let me pull that away. By the way, the silver reflective glitter topper that I use is KB Shimmers Out of Sequins. And the gold reflective glitter topper I have is Starly's Golden Starlight. Just a quick fun fact. This is my backup bottle of this. I have used this bottle so much that it's like all the way down to the bottom, and what I'm gonna do is like use this as much as I can and then pour the rest into there, and it'll be easier to use. But yeah, this is a very excellent topper to have if you don't already have something like this in your collection. Okay, I think I'm gonna do the Indomitable one next and see how that goes. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, gold was actually the better choice here. What I'm seeing here is, I'll see if I can zoom in, if that will make a difference there. The gold, like I mentioned before, the warmth that is in this color blend so far just really fits in better. Though I do think that if you are going for more of like a night sky vibe for things, like having silver reflective glitter over a dark blue blurple like that might not be bad. But Okay, so let me just put this over our front runner, the hibernating hedgehog, and see what we end up with. All right, so these are our 3 end results. I think that if I wanted to have this be a 100% dupe of the all mixed up Lacquers polish, the color, the shade that I'm looking for would be somewhere between hibernating hedgehog and indomitable. But this is a great example of what I meant before when I said that even if you don't have an exact match, you kind of have to ask yourself, with what you already have, is this good enough for you? Like, did you nail it in that regard? And I would say that, yeah, I think that for me personally, the indomitable one, it's okay, but it just feels a little bit sparse. I actually really love this the perky polish hibernating hedgehog combination there. I think that the addition of the red flakes gives a little bit more visual texture, but not making it overly complicated. And the okay, y'all know how I get when it comes to my comparisons, so we're just starting off with this right now. Hear me out. I know this is called hibernating hedgehog, so that's the vision that I've got here. This is like the way that the gold is, the reflective glitter is sticking up. It's sort of like a blinged out hedgehog vibe that I'm getting here. You know, as this is shifting around, I'm just imagining a hedgehog, but like all the quills are gold. I don't know. That's where I'm going with this. So I really love this combination. I would absolutely wear this as a full manicure. And yeah, hopefully this gives you all some ideas of how to dupe this one as well. Though I do really love that title, the name of it, Granny Likes Smut Too. The next polish is another one that I saw quite a bit of interest for in the HHC Facebook group. It's from Victorian Varnish, called Living Work of Art. It says that the brand is continuing their books, botanicals, and teas series with a polish inspired by the Poetic Kinetics bonsai tree. Living Work of Art has a deep blue jelly base with an intense green aqua blue aurora shimmer with silver reflective glitters. Now this one, I'm starting with 2 different options. That's very interesting to see now that I've swatched them out. The first one that I've got on the left here comes from Cracked Polish Fight. This one is, I would say, the darker of the 2, and also the one that builds up to full opacity a lot sooner. This one I've swatched out in 2 coats, though when I wear this one personally, because I don't like visible nail line at all, I do this in 3, but for here, 2 I think is fine. The other option is another teal shimmer from Linby Designs called Jeff's Inn by the Sea. This one took about 3 coats to build up to this level of opacity, and yeah, I think I can still, yeah. Do you see how you can still see my finger underneath there? If I'm not mistaken, this is one that I tend to wear over black. You know what, let me, I wasn't planning on doing this, but something that I personally do whenever I'm just like swatching out polishes for my own just kind of use and trying to figure out polish combinations, and a case like this where I'm like, you know, I wonder how this will look over black, what I will do is take my black cream polish, Bee's Knees Lacquer Void. I flip the swatch wheel over to the back, and then what I'll do is just put black over half of it like that. So that way I can still see how it looks on its own, but you see that difference there? Yeah, this is helping me to see that you get just a lot more color payoff when you put it over black. But yeah, just a quick tip in case you're just like, oh no, I really would love to see how this looks over black. Boom, flip it over, and just be cautious of what you put this on, because there have been times where I'm like, I get a little bit too like like caught up with what I want to do next, and then I'm just like, oh yeah, forgot that there was some black polish under there. Okay, so we've got our teal swatched out on both of these. What else do we have going in here? Okay, an intense green aqua blue aurora shimmer. Now, with this, I thought about, I didn't want to add more shimmer to this because I feel that both of these polishes already have that. What I did want to do though is actually show you all a strategy that I use whenever there's a time where the shimmer that I'm, typically I do this with shimmer polishes, but when the polish that I'm starting with as a shimmer polish isn't exactly the right like shade of teal or something, what I'll do is put a jelly topper, or I'm sorry, a jelly polish over it as a topper. This one is from Cracked. It's called Don't Teal My Thunder. And what I want to do is see how this can change this up to be a little bit closer to what I'm getting from living work of art. And why you want to use a jelly polish for this and not even acrylic is that jellies are not only are they like buildable in the sense of you can use as little or as much as you want, but I think that if you use acrylic instead of a jelly, then you are potentially running the risk of losing the visibility into the shimmer that's underneath. So let me show you what I mean by this. Let's start by putting on Don't Teal My Thunder over Fight. Okay, that did not deepen that up as much as I thought it would. Okay, hold up. This is a very sheer jelly, which, you know, nothing wrong with that. It's actually, I do prefer my jellies to be more on the sheer side. Let me actually, y'all, I'm a mess today. I'm just like pulling stuff from the side. This is a different swatch wheel that I was using for like my own personal swatching purposes. Something that I also will do is just, if I don't want to like use a full nail for this, I'll just kind of like use the middle of this. So there we go. You can see just how sheer this is, but that's okay. You can absolutely build this up. I think I'm actually okay with that right here because it now that I look at it again, it did deepen it a bit and help me to get more of that blue that's in there. I think that because Jeff's Inn by the Sea is definitely more green leaning, I'm really hoping that adding Don't Teal My Thunder will give it more blue. I think it's doing it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had to go back in for a second coat of that. So what I'm doing here is essentially deepening the color, still retaining the shimmer that's underneath, and giving it a more like smoother surface in a way. Not to say that the shimmers had any kind of physical texture to it, but I think that when I put the reflective glitter on top of this, that's going to help the reflective glitter to kind of like sink in a little bit more as far as like the color payoff. I'm hoping that this will end up the way that I'm thinking that it will. Okay, so now that I've done that, the last piece it says is, well, silver reflective glitters. And we've got, just like before, KB Shimmer Out of Sequins. And I feel that, let me just look back through these photos one more time to see if there's anything I'm missing. Nope. This seems like a relatively straightforward one. Like if you've got a teal shimmer, and if you want to add on a jelly to like deepen that a bit if needed, then you put some silver reflective glitter on top. I think this should be a winner. Oh, yeah, for sure. That is totally it right there. Yep. And I think that adding the jelly helped here because that's what I mean. When I was saying earlier that adding the jelly polish helps those reflective glitters to sink in a bit, another way I can describe this in my experience with working with these different types of polishes together is that adding a jelly layer in between the shimmer polish and the reflective glitter helps it to make it so that the reflective glitter, especially when you put the top coat over that, it like sets itself apart a little bit more, which I've recognized sounds completely the opposite of what I mean when I say it sinks in a bit. But I guess what I'm saying is that like it just gives a better visual payoff, in my opinion. I think what I'll probably do is put top coat over it like before I even finish filming this segment, just so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah, this one here, this isn't bad. I was surprised. It's been a while since I've used this Limby Designs one, so I think I kind of forgot just how more green leaning it is, but it's not a bad option if that's the one that you have in your collection that you are working with and that you are not looking to buy anything new. So like I said, I do want to show you all the difference that adding a top coat can make. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so adding it over here, and as I've put top coat over the first three already, I mean, it just sparkles. And I think that oftentimes when I'm working with reflective glitter, I don't always see the full the full situation of how it's fully sparkling until I add the top coat, and it's like, oh, that's actually really cute. Yeah, the top coat really makes a difference here, in my opinion. It that looks like a near dupe to me. Okay, yeah, and same with this one over here. I'm actually surprised that the you know, I'm just looking at this again, and I do store the Jeff's Inn by the Sea. I store it with my I store both of these actually with my green polishes. I did not realize that, especially over black, this one, it's on its own, it reads as teal. On its, like, over black, that just looks like straight up green to me. That is so interesting. And I put the teal jelly polish over both of them, so that, you know, that is a little surprising. One other thing I'm noticing here, just as a point of interest, I'm noticing, let's just talk about reflective glitter for a moment here. I'm realizing that I think I prefer the particle density in Starly's Golden Starlight over how jam-packed things are in the KB Shimmer Out of Sequence. I feel like there's, like, if I zoom in even more here, I'm getting a little bit too much like glitter dustiness there in the background with the KB Shimmer, as opposed to in Golden Starlight, where it's you know, it's like a cleaner, more crisp look. I'm especially seeing that like in what we did over here with Snapback. That's just a mental note to me, because I've those of you who've been watching my channel for a bit may remember that I've talked about how I've gotten into making my own toppers lately, and I think what I might actually end up doing is I do have my own. I bought like a little packet of silver reflective glitter. I think I might actually might make one of my own so that I can control the glitter density here. So just another point to point out, if any of you are also into making your own polishes, but you're seeing that for whatever reason the reflective glitter that you're using just isn't quite cutting it for you anymore, don't be afraid to experiment with making your own, and that way you kind of get more of the visual look that you're going for. Once again, I am all over the place, y'all, today. I'm sorry, but let's go ahead and take a look at these in some different lighting. So real quick before we go on, I couldn't just leave this alone. It's something I was just like, I need to test this out. So real quick, I'm just gonna make my own silver reflective glitter polish. When I went downstairs just now to get my supplies and everything that I needed, my husband was like, oh, what you doing? And I'm like, we need to talk about glitter density. And he's like, okay, yeah. So okay, this is just going to be a speed through, but basically what I've got here, I use the Glitter Unique Glitter Suspension Base. And then I have their reflective glitter silver here. I'm just gonna, oh, I have glitter on me everywhere already. I'm just gonna use a small amount of this because, you know, that's the thing with toppers, you can always build them up in as many coats as you need. So I'm really just taking this tiny amount of glitter for an entire 15 milliliter bottle. So let me go ahead and mix this up. I'm also going to add in a couple of drops of thinner here so that it can be at a better consistency to what I prefer. And I'm doing this because as I was looking ahead to the other polishes that I am going to try to do for this video, there is another one coming up later on that also includes silver reflective glitter. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to run into the same issue again. So yeah, that's at the consistency that I like. I'm just going to pour this into a bottle here. Hopefully not spill too much. Yeah, I think that this is going to work. And by work, I mean, I think it's going to give me the result that I am looking for. Because, where is the top of this bottle? Okay, there we go. If I just compare this right here to, so this is what I just did. And here is KB Shimmers Out of Sequence. You see the difference there? I mean, I think that this should work. So what I've done is that I have swatched out on these swatch sticks the exact same polishes and everything that we had up until I put on the reflective glitter. And I'm hoping that this will give me the result I'm looking for. So let's start with the one where we start with Fight. Fingers crossed, y'all. Oh, that is so much better. That is much better. Yeah, this is the level of like glitter that I wanted in here, and I don't get that kind of like dustiness that I was talking about before. Let me do the exact same thing with this one. See, I did it exactly down to like, we've got the black split on there as well. And like I said, if it's ever the case where I'm feeling like, you know, I don't have enough reflective glitter on here, I can always build this up in more coats. Now, let's see if I can hold these in a way where I can show you easily the difference between this and what we had before. So here's what we had before, and now here's where we have after. I know it's a little bit tough to see, but I think that I definitely do prefer my version of this topper because I get the benefit of having the reflective glitter there without that extra like dustiness. You know what? I think it's more visible when I zoom in on the cracked polish Fight one. From an angle especially is where I can see more clearly that kind of, it looks and feels like silver. And when I say feel, I don't mean physically, but it just seems to give like a physical, I'm sorry, it seems to have like a silvery residue look to it, as opposed to when I have it here, it's just a more clean look. So hopefully that's coming through. I think it'll come through better when I'm in some other lighting. That concludes our science experiment portion of this video. But yeah, this I think is going to be what I use moving forward for my silver reflective glitter purposes. The next polish comes from Lilypad Lacquers called Yeehaw. It says that Lilypad Lacquer is continuing their All Things Country and Western series with a polish inspired by album covers. And Yeehaw is a neon pink jelly with micro hollow glitter, gold shimmer, and purple pink shifting crystal chameleon flakes. And there's a cap of 100 bottles, meaning that's how many bottles will be available. That's why I chose this polish for this video, because of that lower cap. And also, I mean, y'all know as much as I say y'all, and I actually I'm starting to, as I was reading that description, I started feeling my southern accent come out even more. You know how kind of like when you're around someone who has the same accent that you do, and like I live in Illinois now, so I don't really have a chance to speak the way that I really do until I speak with someone who has a southern accent. So just bear with me and we'll see how this one goes. But yeah, I've got two options I'm starting with for this one. One is a jelly. This is from Cirque Colors. It's called Lolly Jelly, and I've built it up in 2 coats here. I think that when you go on the HHC website, you can see some other photos of Yeehaw that really do show how it's very much a jelly, because of that level of opacity there, with still being able to see through it. But I also wanted to use this as an example of a time where, let's say you are taking a look at Yeehaw and you're like, you know, that really would be the perfect polish for me if only it were this, or if only it were that. For me personally, I often find that there are times where I will see a polish that's a jelly, but then I just wish that it were more opaque. And so I wanted to use this as an example of a time where if I am looking at this, I'm like, you know, I like that. I like everything about this, but let's see how this could go if it were a cream and not a jelly. So the cream that I'm using is from Zoya. It's called Frankie. This one's no longer available, so if you have something in your collection that's more of like a coral, like a pink leaning coral is kind of the vibe you're going for here. And for this, I've also put down 2 coats of that so far. Now for the next part, this is where we're getting into the discussion of it's not just important to consider which other elements you decide to add on for layering, but the order in which you do them is important. So let me bring out the other 3 that I've got in no particular order. I know it says that there's a hollow glitter in here, and the one that I'm using comes from Cracked, called Make It Pretty. I decided to go with like a gold hollow glitter because of the description saying that there's gold shimmer in here, so I figured that would go well with that. The other ingredient that I'm going to put in here, I say ingredient like I'm baking, I've got a iridescent flaky topper from Spectrum Cosmetics called Opal. And then I also have a gold shimmer topper from Cirque called Nectar. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is that when you're trying to dupe these polishes, really pause and think about how they work with each other and what the impact would be of the order in which you're layering them, and don't necessarily stick just to the order that they're listed in the description. So for example, in the description it says that Yeehaw is a neon pink jelly with micro hollow glitter. Yo, I know for a fact that if I were to put down this hollow glitter first and then everything on top of that later, I might as well not even have the glitter there, because it's going to cover it up to the extent to where it's no longer part of the picture. So what I want to do is actually go in first with Cirque's Nectar, because I know that from experience that this is a polish where how do I put this? If I put this on last, I'm basically gonna see the gold shimmer as the main visual draw. Whereas when I'm looking at the swatch photos of Yeehaw, I don't see the gold shimmer stand out like bam, like it's not the main thing that is drawing me in, but I know that it's still there. So what I want to do is put this down first so that I can still have it be part of the whole experience, but then not have it be the main star of the show. So here is Nectar over Lolly Jelly. And I'll zoom in on this in just a sec. And then I'm gonna put it over Frankie as well. Side note, I noticed that I have silver reflective glitter stuck in my hair, and I'm going to a hair appointment like right after I finish filming this video. So I'm gonna have some explaining to do to my hairstylist. He's gonna be like, girl, how did you get glitter in your hair? So here is, let's see if I can get this to focus a little better. Okay, there we go. So here's what we've got so far. We've got our gold shimmer that's on there. So far, so good. Next thing that I want to do is put down the flake topper. And from what I'm seeing in the swatch photos, you're seeing the flakes more so as they give some visual texture. I can't really make out a whole lot of it's not the case that there's any specific one color that these flakes in Yeehaw are. They're just, color shifting. So I think that's going to be what I get when I put down opal. Oh, yep. That's building up exactly the way I wanted it to. Perfect. Let's do this as well for over Frankie. And yeah, we can still see that the gold shimmer from Nectar, but hopefully you can already start to see what I'm saying about how it's no longer like the main star of the show. Like it's starting to recede back a bit because we're building up other elements on top of that. And yeah, that would just mean the final element is going to be our hollow glitter. Now, the description says micro hollow glitter, and I do have Starly's stars. I would consider this to be like micro hollow glitter as opposed to Cracks Make It Pretty. If you take a look at the glitter size there. But the thing with stars, and while I do love that as a topper, it is so subtle and faint to where if I put that over these, it might as well not even be there. That is the hollow topper that you use when you have a very plain background and you do want to have just a little bit of sparkle. But if you already have a lot of visual texture going on like we do here, but you also want glitter, you also want some hollow glitter on top of that, I do recommend going with something like Make It Pretty that has a larger size and will give you some more sparkle. Okay, let's see what happens. Ooh. Okay, that is nice. I really like that. Wait a minute, that is very cute. Okay, so there's a couple things I'm thinking about right now. One of which is that what I probably would do if I were to wear either of these as a full manicure would be to, after I put on the iridescent flake topper opal, I would 100% put a glitter smoother on first, let that completely sit, and then put Make It Pretty on top of that. If you're wondering, wait, Olivia, that doesn't make any sense because why are you saying you're gonna put more glitter on top of a glitter smoother? My personal reason for this is that I use a glitter smoother wherever there's like a layer that just needs some smoothing. And with that flake topper that I put on there, it can be it can build up in a way where you want a smoother finish over that in order to not experience as much of that texture physically. But then when it comes to something like Make It Pretty, this type of glitter personally doesn't give me that same kind of physical texture to the point where I need to worry about putting on a glitter smoother. So to recap, I would put on the flake topper, glitter smoother, let it completely set, put on Make It Pretty, and then go on and put on top coat. But as far as did I nail it, it's interesting because I think that the color of Frankie on the right is closer to what's in Yeehaw, but the finish and the opacity level of Lolly Jelly on the left is closer to what I'm seeing there. I personally prefer the look of the one with Lolly Jelly on the left, just because I think that because of the level of opacity of Frankie on the right, with this being a cream, that is causing nectar to show up a little bit more strongly than I would prefer for this combination. But when I take a look at how it's appearing on the left with Lolly Jelly, especially when I go and move this around a bit, I can definitely pick up that shimmer, but not to the case to where it's like bam, you know, the gold shimmer is front and center. I really like that combination. That is pretty nice. I could see myself wearing this for real. So yeah, this is a great combination, especially if it's the case that Yeehaw sells out. But you know, Yeehaw. I love the name, and this is where I'm telling myself I do not need to buy a polish just because of its name. I repeat that mantra to yourself as many times as you need to, because I know I'm not the only one out there who falls into this. I do not need to buy a polish just because of its name. The next polish is from Moth and Moon nail polish called Pascal. It says that Moth and Moon is continuing their Sidekick series with a polish inspired by Pascal from Tangled. I've never seen Tangled before, so hopefully I'm pronouncing that character's name correctly. The polish is described as being a bright green with green iridescent shimmers and silver reflective glitter. Now, this is a good example of a case where I personally don't have any kind of green polish in my collection that is the exact shade of green that is in Pascal. So let's say this were a polish that I'm looking at this and thinking, oh, I really want this polish, but I'm on a no buy. What can I do to try to scratch that itch and see how close I can get? What I have here, I basically feel like if I had something that were like right in between the two of them, that could probably be it. But here's what I do have. I have KB Shimmers Change of Plants, and then I also have Lemby Designs Captivating Campanile. And both of these I've built up in 3 coats each. So the next thing, it says that there, by the way, there's a cap of 150 polishes for this. So that was why I was drawn to this, with it being something that could potentially sell out. Okay, green iridescent shimmers. I do have a green shimmery topper that I've used before from Fancy Gloss called Mystic Dust. I'm hoping that this might push the overall look of these green polishes more towards what I'm seeing in Pascal, but I really have no idea, because this, you know, for all of these, this is not something I've tested out before doing this. For the Did I Nail It videos, I never like pre-test them because I always like to show my true, genuine reaction for these. Let's see what happens. Okay. Probably should let that dry a little bit more, but it's fine. So the KB Shimmer one on the left, I will say, is more of a yellow leaning green. So it isn't picking up the green shimmer as much as I would have liked. Like, I can kind of see it there, but not a whole lot. That's okay. Let's go ahead and see what will happen when I put this over the Limby Designs one. Oh, okay. That actually is giving a little bit more shimmer to it and almost like softening the shade of green somewhat compared to where it was before. So here's what we've got so far. I mean, not a whole lot of difference from where we started. I think because something like Mystic Dust, it tends to have more of an impact on a polish that you put it over if that polish is not already green. So like if you put it over white, you have white with the green shimmer. If you put it over black, you have like black with the green shimmer. But here it's like we've got green with the green shimmer, but I wanted to still give it just a little bit more green shimmer just in case. Okay. And so the last element that we've got here, I believe, would be the silver reflective glitter. And in case you are someone who may have skipped ahead a bit, I just want to recap what I did here. Typically, I would use KB Shimmers out of Sequins as my go-to silver reflective glitter topper, but I was finding for some of my earlier swatches in this video that the glitter density was just a little bit too much for me, to the point where I was seeing what looked like some dustiness going on there. So I went and made my own silver reflective glitter topper that has a lower glitter density, and was seeing far better results with this. So yeah, let's see how this goes over Change of Plants. Once again, I probably should wait a little bit more for these. I know, like with shimmer polishes, needing to wait is, you know, when you wait longer, you prevent this kind of like rippling that can happen there, like that. If I zoom in here a bit, you see that rippling in the top left corner there? I honestly think this might be part of the reason why I don't wear shimmer polishes as much. Like I wear shimmer toppers, but I find that like polishes like this that are just like ready-made shimmer polishes, I find I have to give them even more drying time, and compared to other types of finishes that I have, because otherwise they will have this little crinkliness here, and I can be such an impatient person. So but okay, disregarding that, I think that yeah, this is giving some good sparkle there, and I feel that our second option from a color match standpoint is going to be the better winner. Let's see. Yeah, that now that I've got the finished product here, I'm actually thinking that that's a pretty close dupe. It's still not the exact same shade of green as what's in Pascal, but to go back to that beginning scenario of if I'm on a no buy and I see this polish that's for sale and I'm trying to give myself reasons to not buy yet another polish, could this be close enough to scratch the itch? And I think absolutely, yeah, because in this case, all that I really need is green shimmer, or like some kind of green base, some kind of green shimmer, and then silver reflective glitter. And that's really it right there. So I also feel that I really like that combination on the right, and I could see myself wearing this as a full manicure. Change of Plants on the left, I think that I would probably put a gold reflective glitter on top of this one if I wanted to do some kind of combination with it, because of what I mentioned about this being more of a like yellow leaning green. But yeah, this was a fun experiment for these two. Let's go on to the next one. All right, the next polish comes from Hula Moon. It's called What Else Can We Pile On Here? And there's a cap of 200 of these. It says that Hula Moon is continuing their My Cousin Vinny series What else can we pile on here? Has a gold jelly base filled with gold flakies, hollow flakies, and pink to gold shimmer. Well, we have officially reached the okay, hear me out portion of the video, which is where I have a concept that I think might work. I have some kind of plan here. It's thinking outside the box, but hear me out. So the thing is, I don't have any kind of gold jelly polish, so I thought, what could I do instead? Well, what I do have is this magnetic topper from Cracked called Petals on the Surface that, see, there's like pink and gold in here, right? And that's what it says is in. What else can we pile on here? See, there's logic happening so far. Okay, now so I'm looking at this, and it says that there are gold flakies, there are hollow flakies, and pink to gold shimmer. So I actually just realized I forgot to bring out my gold flakies, so let me pause and get that in just a second. Okay, I'm back with my gold flake topper. This is Fool's Gold from Mooncat. I've got two different swatches out here, and I'm going to explain in a second what I'm going to do and why, but I think that for both of these, I'm going to want to put the gold down first so that this can kind of recede a bit more in the background, but also give us a way to build up our opacity. We'll see how this turns out. I mean, I don't think this is the most bizarre dupe attempt I've done. But also I'm realizing that sometimes it's the okay, hear me out ones that somehow seem to work out best. So let's see. Also, by the way, I started with 2 coats of Petals on the Surface on each of these, and even though Petals on the Surface is a magnetic topper, I kept it unmagnetized for both of these. So far this is it's looking like it's getting us in the right direction. We've accomplished a couple of things so far with having like a gold looking jelly base. We've got gold flakes on both of these, and now we just need to look into hollow flakes and pink to gold shimmer. So let me move Fool's Gold over to the side. And for hollow flakes, I have Jen and Barry's Magic Show. Now this is silver hollow flakes. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen as far as like, will this still give me a gold look? And now that I think about it, I may have wanted to put this down first, but I think it's gonna be okay. The other thing is that for one of these swatches, I want to use Fancy Gloss's Let It Glow Purple Pink as a way of seeing if adding some additional purple pink shimmer will be beneficial. So the way I think I want to do this, I'm gonna look first through a few more of these swatch photos just to see, oh yeah, that actually is golder than, or golder, is that even a word? It's more gold than I thought. I should have swapped that, but that's okay. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is put down, let's do Magic Show on both of these. And what I could do, if it turns out that it's still not looking as gold as I would like, if y'all remember how I was talking earlier about Cert Colors Nectar and how you put this on anything and it makes it gold, I'm keeping Nectar in my back pocket as a like help me out, this is not working tool. Okay. So hollow flakes here are giving this more opacity, but as I suspected, it also is covering up the gold that's there. So I'm definitely going to want to bring that back. I'm also seeing that, you know, to test my theory and my question of, because I'm starting with Crack's Petals on the Surface, which already has some kind of pink shimmer in there, do I even need to add in additional pink shimmer topper? And I think the answer is yes, because if you see what we've got going on here so far, we can still see some of that pink, but not nearly to the extent to which we had it before. So this experiment is going to evolve a little bit, because on the right swatch, I'm still going to follow through on my plan to put on the fancy gloss topper. But I think over here, I'm going to want to go back with Petals on the Surface again and kind of give that some more gold in there. So I'm looking at the photos again and seeing like what stands out more to me, the pink or the gold. You know, I'm going to do let's give both of these some additional pink first, and then the last thing will be some gold. Okay. Also, if you are, you know, like me and keeping count of how many layers of polish we are building up, believe me, I'm counting too, and that is something I'm going to address when we get the final result, and just kind of ask, you know, how close did we get, but also, you know, at a certain point, is it worth it to have to take that many coats of polish? So let's just see what we get first though. So I'm doing one more coat of Petals on the Surface here. Oh, see, why is it these Hear Me Out options are always the ones that end up looking the best? That is looking real close so far, and I haven't even added on Nectar. What? Okay. You know, there are still times though, don't get me wrong, where the Hear Me Out things just end up being like, you know what, that was ambitious, but that just ain't it. So let's see what happens when I put Let It Glow Purple Pink over option number 2. This is going to be interesting. I thought this was going to be more pigmented, but it's leaning more purple, which obviously I know is called Let It Glow Purple Pink, but this could be a good option. Like I've been saying throughout this video, if we're looking at some of these other options where you're like, oh, I wish this, I love everything about this polish, but I wish it were this instead of that. You might say, I wish it were more purple instead of pink. Okay. So while this is drying a bit, and before I go in with Nectar to just be the last coat, let's just kind of recap where we were. We had, let me see, what was it? We started with 2 coats of Petals on the Surface to start with some kind of base layer. Then I put on 1 coat of Mooncat's Fool's Gold, so that's 3. Then I put on 1 coat of Gin and Berry's Magic Show. That's 4 so far. And I've just put on another layer of a shimmer. So we're up to 5 coats so far. And now that I'm about to come in with Cirque Nectar, this is going to be 6. I have a feeling that this is going to nail the dupe attempt here, but well, let me do this first and then I'll explain my thoughts behind this. Well, yep, that is it. I mean, I nailed it. How? How is it that when I say, okay, hear me out, that's, you know, just, you got to think outside the box sometimes, I guess is all I'm saying. So, this is not a polish that was on my wish list. I don't really even have a wish list for this month, but if I were looking at this and thinking, do I need to buy another bottle of nail polish? I mean, in order to achieve this look, for me, in theory, if that were the case and I were really having to weigh this decision, realistically, I'm saying like the only way that I'm able to get this result here is by doing 6 coats of nail polish, and ain't nobody got time for that. So, you know, if you are on a low buy, or I mean, if you're on a no buy and you are seriously like, you cannot buy more polish, then you know what, please do not buy more polish if it's not something that's within your financial situation at the moment. But if you're on more of a low buy, this could be a time where you take a look at what you duped out, and if you at that point realize that you do like it enough to want to wear this combination frequently, I would say that could be a case of being able to justify just buying the polish that is ready-made. In this case, what else can we I'm sorry. Okay, hold up. Hold up. This was not at all intentional. Okay, I just realized it had been a minute since I referred to the polish by name, so I had to look back at my iPad that I've got in front of me to remind myself what is the name of this polish. I knew it was Hula Moon, but I forgot what the name of the polish was. Y'all, this polish is called What Else Can We Pile On Here? Just and somehow the polish that I ended up piling on like 6 coats of nail polish. But to kind of go back to what I was saying, my point being, this could be a really good time to justify just buying what else can we pile on here just as it is in the bottle, so that you don't have to pile on 6 coats of nail polish per finger, you know, every time you want to do this. So I really like this, but I also, let me see, let me put this over like one of my nails. That's like, yeah, that's a cute combination. I don't often wear super sheer polishes though, so I do love this combination. I don't necessarily love it for myself, but if I could find a way to make this more opaque, for me, totally good. So yeah, let's stop piling on for this one and go on to our last polish for this video. Our final polish for this video comes from MJ Lacquer, called Whispering Walls. It says that MJ Lacquer is continuing their landmarks and waterfront series with a polish inspired by Antelope Canyon, Arizona, which is on my bucket list of places I want to travel someday. It continues on to say that Whispering Walls is a holographic multi-chrome with shifts of red, orange, green, violet, and gold. It's complemented with aurora shifts of fuchsia, gold, and green. So have y'all ever seen a polish listing where you are just drawn to it, but then you also kind of like look through the photos and you think, how does this actually look? And I mean this in a good way. By the way, this polish has a cap of 100, and that is why I included it in here, because I just have a feeling this one might sell out because of just how visually interesting it is, and how even I'm kind of struggling to think of, how do I want to dupe this? Like, of all the ones that are in this video, this is the one that took me the most time to really think through, like, what's in here? How can I recreate this? So I'm really hoping that for those of you who are wanting to buy this, if you're on a no buy, or if you are hoping to buy this, but if it sells out, I hope I can give y'all a good alternative. So let's see what happens. I'm starting here with a purple multi-chrome from Alchemy Lacquers called Proto Star. It's kind of like a dark purple, almost blue shifting, but more purple fuchsia leaning, I would say. And I've got it in 1 coat down here so far. You know, I'm trying to think if I've seen any other kind of holographic multi-chrome, and this polish is just so different, and we'll see. I also have a magnetic holographic topper from Crack called Holographic Garbage. You can see it's got, well, a hollow finish here. Actually, in addition to this, let me see if I also have hollow tacos. Is this the hollow one? Yeah, this is hollow magnetic taco. I'm bringing this one out now because holographic garbage isn't available anymore, and I believe that hollow magnetic taco is. I was gonna do like a shimmer topper split as part of the difference, but I'm thinking I'm probably gonna lean more towards if I had to choose one, I was choosing between Fancy Gloss, Let It Glow Purple Pink, and Cracked Petals on the Surface. knowing that this one does say it has more of like violet and fuchsia, I'm probably gonna do Let It Glow Purple Pink and have the difference here be between Cracked Holographic Garbage and Holo Taco's Holo Magnetic Taco. For both of these, I'm doing them unmagnetized. Once again, I do want to be cognizant of the fact that I have polishes in my collection that are no longer available, and I don't want it to be the case that like I'm only using polishes that you can't get anymore. So when possible, I do want to include some other options that they may not be exactly as close, but if they are still available and if you are okay with buying those, then you know, you'll have that option. Okay, so I'm putting holographic garbage on here. From what I'm seeing, I'm probably going to want to do one more coat of that to build up the holo a bit more and to still keep the multi-chrome appearance of that, but yeah, to get more of the holo in there. So here is the holo magnetic taco. Once again, for both of these, I'm doing them unmagnetized. Okay. This one on the right, the holo magnetic taco, I'm actually thinking I could probably keep that one in just one coat. Yeah, that one can do, on the right, I can do that with just one. Holographic garbage, maybe two. I am just really thinking through this in real time. Yeah, so this one, and yeah, this one doesn't have holographic flakes, but I'm sorry, I'm looking through these photos again to remind myself like what is actually in this polish, and it's so hard to like really break apart. But I think I'm gonna do one more coat of holographic garbage. Yeah, that is giving me more of that level of opacity that I wanted. So we're seeing here how we've got still a multi-chrome foundation, we've got holo now, and I think the last piece that we're gonna try to test out to see if we can make this work is to add in some kind of shimmer. And I'm gonna go with Fancy Gloss Let It Glow Purple Pink. And if you happen to have any other kind of shimmer topper in your collection, like I know a purple one that is still available that does have some additional texture though, there's Holo Taco's Twilight Shimmer, so this could be a good alternative if you're unable to get the Fancy Gloss one. Okay. Let me put this over the holo magnetic taco option. Okay, it's picking it up. That's, it's picking it up, but I still feel like I'm getting more holo payoff from the Whispering Walls photo, and you know, this is where it can be a question of like what kind of lighting was used for the swatch photos, because you know, these polishes can look one way when they are under flash as opposed to not, or under certain lighting. Let me try this over holographic garbage. Oh yeah, I think that the finish of holographic garbage is more, it's closer to what I think I want compared to holo magnetic taco, which does have more of a gritty finish to it than the smoother finish of holographic garbage. But you know, I think it could be worth working with if you do have some other alternatives that you could piece together. Did I nail it here? I mean, possibly with the option on the left. I still don't think it's a 100% dupe, but I also feel that, you know, if I ask myself, how often am I wearing like a purple shimmer holo multi-chrome combination, right? Like, do I need to add yet another polish into my collection, yet another choice to have to choose between, or would this be good enough? I think that this combination would be good enough for me. Though I am, like, of all the polishes in this video, I think this is the one that I would want to workshop a little bit more. So we'll see if I can come up with something else. I feel like there might be something else out there. I'm even leaning towards seeing what I might be able to parse out with the Gin and Berries topper Magic Show, the one that has holographic flakes in it. So this one here, I think I might do that. We'll see. You know what? I think I am gonna do that. So I'm gonna pause for a bit, figure out what I wanna come up with, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I think I got it. This one was just really not haunting me, but it just would not leave my mind. And so what happened was, just after I finished filming the clip that's like right before this one, I looked at the time, realized it was time for me to leave my house, go to my hair appointment. So I did that, and then now we're here at the next day. So I had like about a day to think about this one some more, and I feel like this third attempt is probably going to be the best one that really matches what I'm seeing in Whispering Walls. So what I did here was that I started with a coat of the purple multichrome, in this case Alchemy Lacquers Protostar. Then after that, I added in a coat of Cracks Holographic Garbage. Again, with this one, like I said, because it's been discontinued, you know, if you don't already have this, I would say you could probably get away with just like any kind of like silver glittery polish in your collection that still is sheer enough for you to still be able to see the purple multichrome underneath. If you've got something like that, I think that's really all that you need for this step of it. So then what I felt was missing that I didn't put on before was my Ride or Die Gin and Berries Magic Show, which is a holographic flake topper. And I feel that this right here is absolutely it. Now, did I nail it in terms of like being a 100% dupe? It's not 100%, but that's okay. I think that ultimately for me, and I will be honest, like the more that I tried to think about how to dupe this one out, the more I kept just thinking like, it's only $13.50. I can just buy it if I really want it. But that's kind of not the point for me. The point is, I think that I personally am starting to struggle a lot with the concept of having way too many choices in my collection. And so if I am choosing to bring a new polish in, it's absolutely gotta be something that that is so unique that I can't yet, that I don't yet have the ingredients to get kind of close to it. So in this case, I feel that this is close enough for me. I really like the combination of putting a, oh yeah, I put Fancy Gloss Let It Glow Purple Pink on top of that. I feel that this combination is close enough for me to be able to get this vibe, and you know, now that I see the potential here, I'm looking forward to maybe doing something similar and seeing what else I can get out of these together. Okay, so in case you happen to skip around a bit and didn't see that previous clip that's like right before this one where I was duping out the Whispering Walls, I mentioned that I was running, not late, but I had to cut recording short yesterday. So we're on a new day right now as I'm wrapping this up. Not just that, but then I had to go run to my hair appointment. So I've never done this before, where my intro is like my hair brushed out and the roots are rooting, and then you know, the outro is me with my curls like shrunk back up and with you know, touched up roots. So yeah, a lot has changed since yesterday. But anyway, yeah, these are the dupe attempts that I have for this month's HHC. And I started to touch on this a little bit in the in the previous clip that I just mentioned, where I was just reflecting a bit on what my current thoughts and feelings are in regards to like how I'm going about choosing which new polishes, if any, I'm wanting to bring into my collection. And this is absolutely something that I think I'm at the point where I've gathered enough thoughts on this to be able to coherently put together a video that covers things like some tips and strategies for how to stick to a low buy or a no buy, my thoughts on let me say, like, my very non-scientific thoughts on the psychology that might go into how we as consumers often think about this sense of FOMO. And I'll just say, like, for one thing, I know there's a part of my mind that is always thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna buy this, but this is gonna be the last thing for a while because it's this and then it's done. But I think that for me, that kind of thinking only works if it really is the case that whatever I'm looking to buy is like, okay, no more nail polish is going to be created, you know, in theory, right? But the reality is there's always going to be more. And once again, I really do encourage you all, especially at the beginning of the year where a lot of us are even more in the mindset of getting a fresh start and being more intentional and mindful about how we spend. I encourage you to pause and really be even more mindful about curating your wish list. And like I've been saying over the past few videos, I'm noticing how me making these videos personally, it's helped me to rediscover so many polishes in my collection that I just have not touched or worn in months or well over a year. And that it has been a big part of what's giving me the dopamine rush. At the same time though, I do, for those of you who are on, say, a lower buy, or if you don't have any spending restrictions in place for yourself, I do encourage you to use your desire and ability to shop to support these indie makers, especially if it's a maker who is new to you, someone that you haven't tried before. I just really can't stress enough how I know sometimes all that it takes for a newer maker to get some momentum is just people taking a chance on them and seeing what the quality of their polishes is like. So if you are able to spend, I do encourage you to use your spending power in that way to support some of these newer indie makers. Okay, so to recap, I think probably one of my next videos will be that, like, you know, summary of like, let's chat about low buy, no buy. Yeah, that'll be a fun one. I've got some good stuff to share there. So as always, thank you all so much for being here as part of this channel. I would love to hear in the comments which polishes are on your HHC wish list for this month. Were any of these dupes helpful for you? Are there any other polishes that you're looking for help duping? Let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to take a look and give you some suggestions for that. So I hope you all are having a fantastic day and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.